Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper One. Welcome to Boots on the Ground and News You Should Know. A lot to cover. Thank you for everyone that has supported getting relief aid up into North Carolina and into South Carolina, which was affected by the hurricane. We are not in need of anything else. So if you have things to give, please find another organization. And that's a good thing because the need is being met. Also, if you are in the area of upstate South Carolina, just a reminder, the book sale, that huge book warehouse that has 70% off the retail price, it's going to have their sale this Friday. I think it starts like 3 to 8, and then Saturday will be 8 to 8, and then Sunday will be 8 to 6. And it's near Easley, South Carolina. I'll put that in the comment section. So if you're interested, great opportunity. I've done a few videos on the place. Awesome. You will always find something new every time you go. Let's get right into it. Honda is recalling about 3/4 of a million cars. They got a few models: Honda Accord 23 and 24, the Accord Hybrid, the Civic. And the problem is they're having some cracks in some of the high pressure fuel pumps, and this could cause a leak. It could cause a fire. It could cause a crash. So check into that if you have one of these vehicles. Restaurants are getting hammered, and the reason restaurants are getting hammered are first inflation, cost of food is up. Then you have costs of hiring people to work there is up. So the latest one that's been struggling for a while is TGIF Friday. They're trying to keep themselves open. They say that half of the small business owners could not pay their rents in September. And this was up from the earlier months of like 41%. So these independent little restaurants, they're suffering. And if you can support a local restaurant that you like, you might want to support it now because you might wake up one day and they are closed. This is from Indiana, and this is Logan Sport. Thousands of migrants from Haiti. You can call them migrants, you can call them illegal immigrants. It doesn't matter what I call them. The other group hollers at me for whatever words I use. These people that are in this country, some of them are definitely illegal. There's about 18,000 in this one city, and the residents do not feel safe anymore. Major problems. Also, the school system is inundated with people. It's forcing American children. Some of them are dropping out of school, going to other places because they're not getting the attention they need because of all these people that cannot even speak English are there. And they're getting more attention. Also, another school, I think it's in Springfield, Ohio. They came out at one particular school with a policy: if you're not an English-speaking person, you cannot get anything lower than a C. So that's very unfair to all the students involved. And it doesn't do the child that is struggling in school because he can't speak English a benefit by giving him a C and passing him forward. And so a lot of schools are suffering huge problems with this. They don't have enough money. It's not a win for the American people. It's not a win for students. Also, a major food processing company has had some problems. It's Treehouse Food, and they're recalling a lot of products manufactured at the facilities. I think there's 200 newly recalled breakfast items, and they're sold at all kinds of grocery stores, Aldi's, Kroger's, Publix, Target's, Trader Joe's, Walmart's. The list goes on and on. There's 200 breakfast items that could be bad. It's sort of weird because when they go at that Amish farmer, they always said, he potentially could make people sick. Every day you have more recalls out of the government-approved places to buy your food. A majority of Americans said in a survey that they're not better off than they were in 2020. 52% said they're worse off than they were in 2020. And this is basically because the economy, inflation, and it just goes back to people do not have extra money to spend. Probably seen McDonald's. They had their shares drop yesterday because the Center for Disease Control and Prevention had an E. coli outbreak, and it was linked to the McDonald's Quarter Pounder. They said they got 49 cases reported in 10 states, making people sick. An older adult in Colorado actually died from this. Sales of previously owned homes fell 1% in September. So there is problems with higher interest rates. So people are not jumping in because the higher interest rates are causing their house payments to be more than they can afford. Biden has put on hold the federal student loan payment. That 8 million borrowers, that will have a pause, and it could last for 6 months or longer. Biden has been trying to forgive lots and lots of these student debts, but I think this one has run into some legal problems. So he's put this program in a pause so people don't have to pay their payments. Home insurance. All over the United States, from California to Florida, even up in now North Carolina, South Carolina, the amount of storms causing massive damages. And when these massive storms come through, it just costs so much to repair these homes that it's causing a problem with homeowners insurance. They're saying that of the top 12 insurance companies in California, only 5 are still writing new policies. Florida, their costs are going up also. The BRICS nation is holding their meeting, 3-day meeting, and they actually represent 46% of the world's population, over 36% of the global GDP. There's about 20,000 delegates from over 30 countries attending there. Pentagon has come out and said that they believe North Korean soldiers are in Russia. Now, Ukraine is saying that these North Korean soldiers are also in Ukraine. This has not been backed up with any solid evidence, but rumors are that they're going from North Korea to Russia, and then they'll be pushed into Ukraine to fight for the Russians. More and more information coming out about the Ukrainian army. It's just falling apart, mass, just not following orders, and rightfully so. Some of these guys have been on the front for years. There's no replacement. Like in Vietnam, you could do your year, you made your year, they sent you back to the States. Ukraine is not doing that. So many people have been fighting for so long, they're just tired. And they're going AWOL. Even whole groups of soldiers are not following orders. India announced that they have a tentative agreement, a breakthrough with their border issues with China and India. They've been having a lot of problems with the border. They said that they have a breakthrough, and this is good for peace. It's not good for the U.S. The U.S. always wants India and China to be at it to destabilize both sides. There was an attack at a Turkish state aerospace headquarters. There was an explosion, gunfire, people died. They think maybe there was a suicide explosion, suicide attacker, but more information will be coming out on this probably today. Also, Iran and Saudis, looks like they have an agreement to do joint military training, which is a big deal because for many years they had really broke diplomatic ties. I think they broke in 2016. So now they're going to do some joint military maneuvers. And this is good for peace, but it's not good for the United States if you look at it like that, because we have played the Iranians against the Saudis for many, many years. So, the BRICS nation, that is what's happening in the world right now. They're meeting, and there's a lot of countries that want to join. There's actually Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and UAE. They're all members. Now, they're also, Saudi Arabia is joining them, and then there's many, many countries from every country you can think of pretty much that's not really tied to the West or in Europe wanting to join BRICS. And this is really so they can get away from relying on the U.S. dollar, the way the business works. If you do not agree with the United States, they will put sanctions on us, sanctions on you. And the sanctions are supposed to help the United States and punish the person, but it's turning out to punish the American people because more and more countries realize that they don't need the U.S. dollar. They don't need anything to do with the West. And this is why BRICS is so important. BRICS in the next year or so is going to just more and more erode the U.S. dollar, the demand for the dollar, and by eroding worldwide US dollar demand is going to have these dollars rush back to the United States, causing more inflation. So keep prepping, keep preparing. There's a lot of things going on in this world, but you can't control 99.99% of them. So yes, educate yourself on them so you can better prepare, but don't worry about them. Thanks for watching.